Hang on, I can't. Oh, shoot, it's stuck.
Hello guys, welcome to Irish Footy Vlogs. That time of the week again. Myself and Keane, we're going to look at the weekend games, the weekend review show. How are you, Keane? You well?
All good, bud. All good, yeah.
Good stuff. Before we get into it, we'll start off just a little bit of sad news, Keane. Unfortunately, you probably heard John Kennedy lost his life on Friday in a drowning accident. Massive Cork City supporter, volunteer. Really appreciate it around the community of Cork, you know. My condolences go to the family, obviously, but it goes without saying, but I'll say it. I'm sure you
awful. It's hard to take. When something like that happens and it's a tragic accident. Look, I know myself, and I've spoken to him numerous times, and a lot of League of Hurling fans or throughout the whole league know him. And look, it's sad news, and thoughts with him, all his family and friends. It's not nice.
Yeah, far too young. On to the reviews now of the weekend. The Premier Division first, Keane. We'll start off at the Brandywell, actually. Derry City drew 0-0 with Pats. I'll get your thoughts on it now, but I thought this was an awful game, to be honest, Keane.
Look.
It's a poor enough game for both sides, I might add, as well. Not just one, two teams.
Not a beautiful game. Not a game for the neutrals at all. To be honest, I'm delighted to get a point out of it as a Pats fan. Look, I think the Brandywell is a very underrated place to go and play. Try and get a point. We got a point. We done our job. I don't think Pats were actually in danger at all. Throughout the game, I don't think they were in danger. We looked comfortable enough, and if anyone was going to win, it was going to be Pats.
Yeah, I think maybe the last 15 minutes Pats did do most of the pressing, I have to say.
Yeah.
The tempo from both teams was quite slow throughout. Pats did up the tempo a bit, notably in the last 50 minutes, but in a sense felt like...
I think it played out exactly how I said it was going to. I said it was going to be a must-not-lose game. And I think it was important for both teams not to lose that. But, not a game for the beautiful eye, or not a game for the neutrals to look at. Albeit, Derry won't care, Pats won't care. I think Derry are happy with the point at the minute, considering where they are in the table. A point isn't a bad result against Pats this week. I just think it changes so quickly, right? If Pats go out now, hope not, but if Pats go out the shells next week and let's say lose, then all of a sudden we're on a winless run. I think after you draw a couple of games, if you win the next one, automatically the tide changes in the head, and it's all of a sudden you're on an unbeaten run. Do you know what I mean? And it's one of them situations, like.
Yeah, it's obviously something we'll look into now when we're talking about the previews. That's going to be a huge game, obviously. But in the game itself, I suppose for Pats, looking at it, I suppose 0-0 away to Derry in isolation isn't a poor result by any means. It's just another game without scoring, and it's worrying 6 games without scoring.
It's not good. But another thing which is mad. Like we're not shipping a lot of goals, and I think we're kind of shipping a lot of goals in one game. Do you know what I mean? Or 2 games.
No, their defensive record is quite good, actually, Keane, in fairness. It's just their goals, really. Like, they've scored 6. Cork have scored 6, 2 worst in the league. Pats have conceded 10. But, not many teams have conceded. Only 4 teams have conceded less than Pats this season.
Like, I don't think... Like, people might call me biased and stuff like that. I don't care. I just don't think... a lot of teams are going to beat Pats at the minute. I don't think a lot of teams, like, when we're shipping goals, we're shipping 3, let's say, in Waterford, or, we're getting beaten well.
I think with Pats in the last 2 games, I have to say, there's been consistency of effort and work rate. And some games, I'll be honest, in some games I question that. some of the games. You know,
Look,
I honestly did. But you had that in those games. It just lacked a bit of quality. However, if you continue to work like that, you're hoping that might change. But you need to continue to work. You know, obviously the game coming up against Shamrock and whatever. Was there anyone? I'm surprised Figueroa didn't start for Derry in this game. I'm not sure if he had a little bit of a knock or anything, but that surprised me.
To be honest with you, I was delighted he wasn't playing.
Exactly. That's it, yeah.
No, I think, I think Derry are kind of a bit stop-start with their side. You don't know who's going to play, don't you know? I think Mallon is probably if Pats could sign one player tomorrow from Derry, it would probably be Mallon or Figueroa for me.
Yeah, Mallon, like in that game, he obviously, you could argue there wasn't too much end product, but that's not necessarily all his fault either. But you could see the ability he has, hasn't he? And he can, you know, on the ball, and I think he got by a few players at one stage, and the shot was weak and straight at Clark. But that's something he can do. He can cut in and cause issues.
Yeah, I just like I was saying, you know, obviously you look at Pat's not scoring.
Yeah, excuse me.
The main thing is we're not shipping. We're not shipping a lot of goals at the back, and it's a different story. It's a recipe for disaster if you're not scoring and you're shipping a lot of goals. I think we've tidied that up defensively. I thought, look, I wouldn't be the biggest fan, especially this season, but I thought Jamie Lennon done very well.
Benson were very good in the midfield for Pats.
Robbie was, let's say, the main man to get Pats going. I thought he was the man to get the ball and make things happen.
He was trying to make things happen.
Sometimes I question his decision making in the final third in a couple of games, but the fact that he's getting the ball, he's beating a man, you know, it's good.
You're right about Lennon, just quickly before we move on. I thought that was his best game I've seen for a long time. I don't know, I suppose he's getting good tackles in. His position play was good. Not too many silly fouls. He tends to do that in games, doesn't he? And I thought, you're laughing. And I thought as well, some of his deliveries from set pieces were decent enough, just weren't taken advantage of as well.
Yeah, I just, you know, we're not shipping a lot of goals, so I'm not too worried about that. Like, people think I should be more worried than I actually am. To be honest,
I'm a bit more worried than you, if I'm honest.
I'll be honest, I'm not worried at all. You see the work rate, you see the effort in the last couple of games. The team, like, I think probably once or twice in the whole game, Derry actually looked like scoring. It was a poor game from Derry. I don't think they showed up either.
Overall, if you say you're watching as a neutral or whatever, nobody really looked like scoring. I think that's probably the point, isn't it, in general, for the neutral?
But I think both teams are content with that.
Yeah. Derry have that game in hand as well.
You must not lose, and you know it makes the next game even better now and even bigger. So hopefully.
Sligo Rovers, Bohemians won. A very good result for Bohemians, because I thought this was actually a game. I think a lot of pacey play in this game, decent chances in the game as well. Bows the better the first half, Sligo the better the second half. But funnily enough, Bows sort of scored against the run of play through Andrew Wright, who was quite good on the night actually. What do you think of this one? obviously a great result for Bows, a great 3 points, isn't it?
The showgrounds, anytime you're to pick up 3 points is brilliant. I think there was a lot of pressure on Bows coming into this. For some reason, within 2 weeks, they became, let's say, title challengers. And the pressure of that, like, alone, and then losing to Rovers, and then losing to Waterford, and then all of a sudden, like, it makes, obviously, consciously, it makes the next game even bigger. But, like, there was so much pressure on both coming into this game, and I just thought they bust, especially the first half. I think they played to their strengths, and you know, the likes of Keith Buckley was fantastic in the centre, and you know, Dawson Devoy was brilliant again. What a player, what a talent that young man is, and I love watching him play. But having him in the middle there, I thought
Warwick is an old-fashioned winger, isn't he? I love the way he gets to the byline and gets these crosses into the box.
And Danny Grant is the exact same. Like, you know, just the proper wingers and the proper get you off your seat wingers.
I think I noticed with Bowes Keane as well. Probably because hot in the heels after watching Pats and Derry as well. But I noticed Bowes get a lot of players into the box. You obviously 5 or 6 players in the box.
Yeah, look, they're brilliant at what they do.
Yeah.
If anyone sees them before the game, they every time we keep long runs the drill before the game, and it's an excellent one. It's just passing. They pass it out to the winger, and the winger fizzes it into the box for the striker.
It's kind of old-fashioned in a way. Like, you don't see a lot of it. Yeah.
You know, I love that drill, and you see it before the game. You see the crosses being put in, but they're not just doing it before the game, because the minute they get into the match, they're doing the exact same thing. And like, it's excellent from Bowles. I thought, like, personally, I think in the first half, the first couple of minutes, like you're saying, Sligo could easily hop off there, no problem. But I think the minute the game started and the minute Bowles got on the ball, I was saying to myself, you know what, Bowles aren't losing this.
Do you think Sligo were a little bit unlucky in the second half? In the second
half, yeah. Bowles obviously got the goal against the run of play. But I think overall, like, it could have been a bit harsh, but a draw was probably the proper result.
I think Bowles should have had a penalty, though. I think. How's that not a penalty? Sorry, but
I think they're feeling a bit robbed lately with the penalty and the penalty and talent. And then, you know, it was, but I think Bowles done enough to win the game.
Yeah. They showed true bottle though as well, I think, because they were under the cosh a little bit when they got the goal slightly. Although Sligo's best minutes of the game were probably the first 15 minutes, second half, Coughlin a few little chances and that kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, I just thought they marshalled them very well.
Did you? Overall,
I don't think Junior really got a sniff.
No.
Like I said, he's one of them players you need to keep him on a leash, because if you let him go, he's not stopping. And I think they done really well.
No, they did, yeah. And that was a good result for Bowles. Keeps them kind of ahead of Dundalk, because if they drop points there, you'd nearly be saying Dundalk could have a great chance to finish ahead of them. Now, they could still yet, but anyway, on to Finn Harps and Shelbourne, which was actually a Talca Park, and finished 1-1. What do you think of this one? Obviously, Kilduff gave Shelbourne the lead. McNamee equalised. I think it was a little bit. I thought Shelbourne were the better side in the first half, personally, but I thought Harps were the much better side generally in the second half. What do you think of the sending off to Byrne as well?
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one, I thought. Now, I thought it was a bit of a. It was a real end of season game, wasn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
It kind of. That was like Shells went 1-0 up, and I think you kind of think. Yeah, you kind of think they have a one. But Harps always find a way to make a game of it, and in fairness to them, they done really well. I thought Harps were very organised in the game. I thought Webster was fantastic. I thought he led by example at the back. But yeah, McNamee obviously getting his goal. He had a good game himself off the ball.
First goal for the club, actually, believe it or not, as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Now that's poor, isn't it, when you think of it that way, like.
You wouldn't think it. And actually, Raf Kataro, I thought, made a difference when he came on in the second half, you know, which was fair play to him, like, you know what I mean? Like,
look, Raf has been a fantastic servant for Sligo in the league. I know we've had a season at Bowes. But Raf has been superb, and it's great to see him still playing. He's a proper League of Ireland man, and he's nice to have around the place. And look, I think Harps would be delighted with that. And look, it keeps them there, like it keeps them right in the mix, like.
Exactly.
Like if they get a win, let's say against, I know we're not going to, but let's say Pats maybe, or maybe a win against even Cork coming up, like.
Playing Cork.
Like that's a 6-pointer. That's a huge game, man. That's a game I'm excited to watch now. But you know, it keeps them there, and like it's worrying everybody else because they're picking up points.
But you see them, the difference to them Cork at the moment is you see more of a. I know it's tough to say Cork people might like it or whatever, but you see more of a hunger and a desire in the Finn Harps displays, don't you? Overall,
I think that you need that. Like they don't have, without being too disrespectful, I don't want to be disrespectful, but they don't have, let's say, the players of Pats or the players of Derry, but in fairness to them, they match it up, like. with hard work and effort. I'm not saying Pats or Derry or Cork aren't putting it in, but I think Harps need to give that extra 10-20% because let's be fair, they probably don't have it. They don't have it in ability, but they make up for it in effort. They make up for it in hard work and organisation. I think that's all it is. I said it before. It doesn't take it to have the best team to even win leagues. Even never mind win a game. I don't think you need to have a great team in Ireland to win the league. And I'm not putting anyone down. Look, Shamrock Rovers team at the minute, fantastic. But you don't need to have, let's say, a fantastic team. I think you just have to be organised.
Yeah, because most of the time you're not going to have players that are a level above most of the players in the league.
That's it, exactly. Yeah, you just get lucky one year and everything just works out and clicks. Injuries, like I think back.
You might get a batch of look at Cork City with Sean Maguire.
Yeah,
it's the difference with them winning a league. Then you lose them. You're back down.
I think Cork won the league with Sean Maguire and maybe Greg Bulger done very well from that season. But I think
good players, but the likes of that will just elevate you big time. Jack Byrne is doing that for Rovers, in my opinion, at the moment as well. Yeah. Rovers are a very good side, you say, but take Jack Byrne out of that, and it does make a big difference to them.
It's the same even Sligo. When they won the league in 2012, you take Mark Quigley out, you take Danny North out. But look, they brought these players in to win the league. So
Joey Nadeau obviously was.
Joey could play. Didn't want to play for Pats though, but he played for everyone else. No, I think you look at Sligo, they had good side. They even Pats in 2014. I don't think it's funny enough in 2014 with Pats. We weren't relying on one player to score.
No, there wasn't one player, strangely.
I think, the goals came from everywhere. Like, I don't know how many goals Bisto scored. I don't know how many goals Christie scored, but it wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, let's say, a Paddy Hooman.
No, they were all shared out, though. You had Brennan as well.
Our most important goal came from Chris Forrester, who probably only scored 2-3 that season.
No, he wasn't a big goal scorer. He was just a goal scorer of very good goals at that point.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. You don't need like a 20 goal. Obviously, it helps if you have a striker that's going to need 20 goals. But
it's rare.
If you have a bunch of players that can play, you can get results in this league.
100%. Speaking about having a bunch of players that can play, Shamrock Rovers beat Waterford 6-1 tonight. This was a mad game because it was 0-0 up to 41 minutes, Keane. 3 goals in 4 minutes for Shamrock Rovers. Aaron Green, Roberto Lopez and Lee Grace. But the killer for Waterford, 2 of them are corner kicks. We've seen it before. Waterford have conceded more from corners than anyone else. So they kind of shot themselves in the foot. Second half, Jack Byrne scores early. He was very good tonight, by the way. He assisted with 3 and scored 1. Graham Burke and Dean Williams on as a sub. Michael O'Connor got consolation for Waterford. Big result. I think you might as well start carving Shamrock Rovers' name in the trophy, I think, at this stage.
I don't want to say it. I don't want to say that.
What have we got left? We've what? I'm trying to see now. We've 6 games left. 8 points clear.
What a performance. Waterford were banging form coming into this. I know it's not ideal for Waterford losing Sheridan
in charge,
stuff like that. But look, the first game in charge for the new lad, and he stuck in with Rovers away. It's tough as well. Sheridan was probably delighted he got out there when he did, when it was good, But I just think Rovers now will have to. Will they win the double? Can you see anyone beating them? Look, they obviously got Harps away in the quarterfinals. The good thing about this is, especially for Finn Harps and everything, the cup games are after the league, so nobody's even worried about the cup now. So it's all.
That's funnily enough in the sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everything focuses on the league.
Yeah, suddenly they're thinking, lads, we can do it. We've the league actually won. We can do the double now.
And I'm looking forward to. Now. Obviously, we got knocked out, but I'm looking forward to the cup after the season. It's a little bit of excitement after the season is over, and it brings us right up to the end of November.
Yeah, it's not too bad when you think about it. Yeah, I think they've done it the right way. You have to give them credit there. I think it was the right decision, wasn't it?
I just love how the games are spread out. Like,
Yeah. No, I do.
like
Yeah.
if these kept it like this, now obviously you're probably going to have, I would presume, 2 late games on a Friday. You can't have a quarter 6 game with fans on back.
No, but
But
even at that, and have your Saturday and Sunday spread out, like you
yeah,
sacrifice one game where you have a double game, if you like. You know what I mean?
yeah,
The Friday
I
night,
love
yeah.
it. And I think, like, I for one personally will try and get to every game
Yeah.
over the weekend. You know, and I think it's great what they done, but like the stream will it continue? And I don't know. I think it might continue for overseas.
And the other
I
side
don't,
is saying we don't know if fans will really be allowed back in by the start of next season either. As we speak, it's
no,
probably
but
unlikely, isn't
I think obviously if fans aren't allowed back in, it'll stay up.
it?
But
Yeah.
if fans are allowed in, I I love the stream. I'm a big fan of it. But I want bums on seats. I don't want people sitting at home in the house watching the game.
It's a tough one, isn't it, though? Because
Well,
you're right, though.
yes.
But it's a tough one. Like, I'd watch. Obviously, I wouldn't. In normality, I wouldn't be going to every game over the weekend, let's say. But I'd be going to a game or two. But I'd like
Unless
to be able to
they
see the
came
other
up,
games on
yeah.
stream. Do you understand? But
Unless they came up with a package
it's a tough one.
and
Yeah.
they let's say you pay a tenner per game
Yeah.
and a fiver of each goes to the clubs.
Yeah.
So, something like that, because I don't think the
It's more
stream.
likely. It's more likely still that you'll go to the game. At least your local team than pay the whatever to sit at home watching the telly. In my view, you're
Uh,
either going to have an
you
interest
see,
in it, or
you
you're not
see,
going
it's
to be.
hard. It's hard because look, Kate, I'll never miss a Pats game, not a chance. But somebody like just say for yourself, for example, pissing rain, long day on work. You come home, there's a curry, you can order a curry, you can watch the game with a box, and all of a sudden, like people would do that. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'd still go to the game if I'm
I'd
honest.
go to the game personally.
But, you're right. There probably would be people that would. You'd have to nearly test it and check the statistics and see how it worked out or something.
I just think it's fantastic when people can't go to the games. But if this continues, if this stream continues, I think it could dampen the attendances. And look, let's be honest, the attendances have been fantastic. That's from the start of the season.
I think just say, right, I don't think it'll happen, but just say from the start of next season, fans can go to games normal. Unfortunately, I don't think that will be the case. But I think attendances will even be higher than usual.
Oh, definitely.
But appreciate the fact that they can go to games again.
Over a long period of time.
Yeah.
The novelty is going to wear off again. You know, look, I think people now are probably regretting that they didn't go to a lot more games than they should have. But at the same time, that's only going to last 3 weeks. Like, look, if let's be honest, if Pats go out and get absolutely hockeyed over at the first game back,
amount of people that won't go. Yeah, exactly.
Like you always say it, I always say it week in week. The first day of the season, we always have Richmond packed.
Waterford this season, yeah.
Always is packed. Waterford this season, Cork the season before, Cork the season before that. The place was jammers, and
there was a game though last season. It was actually a Pats game. It was Waterford. I can't remember they playing the next week, but Pats lost anyway the game to Waterford, and there was a big enough crowd at it. The next week Pats played, there was a difference of something like 1,000 people.
Start of the season, wasn't it?
Might have been last season, to be honest, Keane. We lost to Waterford last season at home as well. But there was another game.
Well by them, wasn't it? 2-0 or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, twice, I think, 2-0 and 3-0. This would have been the 2-0, I think. And I can't remember Pats were playing the week after. But anyway, there was a major drop-off. But you get that throughout the league. There's a major drop-off the following week. It's just amazing.
And that's, like, look, see, people, the argument, I know we're probably going a bit off topic, but the argument people are saying is they're not going to come in anyway. So why not get the money off them on the stream? I see that argument, right? But I just think a lot more people will sit at home than go to the games. And look, nobody wants that. I know people are probably making money out of it, but at the same time, Like, I want to go to Richmond. I want to have a full crowd there when we can.
Yeah.
I just think if it's on the stream, it might be, if the weather's a big thing for people in Northern, like,
I
you know.
Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it?
So it's a catch-22, I think. You're
It's
gonna,
tough.
like, I don't know how they're gonna organise it. Look, personally, I
They
think
should certainly look at it and try and research it and all that kind of stuff in more detail than we could ever do. But it is a tough one, I think, isn't it?
like, you look in England, all the games are like all the Premier League games, let's say, and man, a lot of Championship games with Sky.
TV money. They're getting huge TV.
Yeah, like, we're not getting that.
No, it's
And
not. Fish.
like, will clubs want to stream? Probably not because of that. Look, I think it's easy to go to a game. It's easy to go to a game and your team is winning. Like, Shamrock Rovers will probably have 6,000, 7,000 at every game now till the end of the season.
They would, yeah, at this stage,
And,
yeah.
like, I remember the talent, obviously, look, the stands weren't there. There was only one, but they were packing out everything when they were winning. And I think they'll do the same. Like, you seen the crowd at the Dundalk game. Like, that was only, they were going to get that. Cork City, when they're doing well, it's easy to go to the games when they're winning.
Every team, really, isn't it? When you think about it, like,
yeah, and I think Pats, like, even when I go back to when Pats were good, Pats had, I would say, 3,500 maybe.
Oh, easily, yeah.
We never fully saw out Richmond.
No, you're talking about 1.5 roughly at this stage ish, depending.
Yeah. And, will you get more on the stream with clubs want it? It's an argument for another day, I think. But, it's just a tough one.
Yeah, it's one we can't really answer, unfortunately. But it's an interesting debate, nonetheless, I think. Onto the first division now, Keane. We obviously had 2 lots of matches. I'll just go through the results on Friday. So Athlone beat Cove 2-1. That was their first win of the season. Bray beat Longford 3-0, which is a huge result. Galway beat Wexford 1-0 with a last-minute goal. Or was it a last-minute goal? Not 100% sure on that, but they definitely won 1-0. So we'll go with that anyway, Keane. Cavendish won 2-0 in Shamrock Rovers B, obviously. And UCD lost 3-1 at home to Drogheda United. And that was huge because UCD missed a penalty at 2-1 late on and Drogheda scored a late goal. So that was a huge one. Then just going to marry that into tonight's games. Obviously with tonight then, we had, there was only one fixture not played, Drogheda and Shamrock Rovers B, because they play tomorrow. But Galway got their 5th win in a row tonight. Late goal. Something like the 10th minute of injury time.
99th minute, I believe.
Yeah, there you go, in Stradbrook. That's 2 wins in a row now. 5 wins in a row, but 2 wins like from Friday and Monday.
Yeah.
They're into the play. They're level with UCD, 20 points, just on the cusp.
I think they're 3 or 4 goals away from that's all.
Mad, like it's unbelievable. Ludden got sent off as well earlier on, so that makes the result even better. Huge kick in the teeth for Cavendish after getting back to winning ways on Friday. Massive win for Galway. And I think you mentioned it before. If they sneak into the playoffs, they're going to have serious momentum, aren't they?
Yeah, look, what a few performances.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't even say performances. I'd say hard-fought wins. Like, now I didn't see the game. It's literally only over, in now 2 hours. But I didn't see it, so I haven't seen anything on it. But I presume it wasn't pretty, considering you're down to 10 men. Like, and that's what Caulfield instills in the side. I said it earlier on. You don't have to be a great side, and like, they're not the greatest Galway side we've ever seen, but they're getting the results. They found themselves from an unbelievable position of gone. Like, if they could have been relegated from the first division, they probably would have. But to see them now coming in now and they're in the playoffs, only just over by goal difference, I think, is it?
But goal difference, yeah. UCD.
It's fantastic, like, to see how quick. I didn't think it happened. I didn't think the turnaround would happen as quick as it did. I did think it'd take a bit of time, but look, I'm not getting ahead of myself. I really not. I've seen how quickly things change in this league.
Oh, absolutely. But they've obviously dragged themselves up into a brilliant position. A position that a few weeks ago you wouldn't see them. You wouldn't give them much hope at all.
It's in their hands now. They win all their games. You know what I mean? And look, you just don't know. If they win from every game now at the end of the season, where could they finish, like?
that result tonight, though, not just the 3 points, but obviously Cavan Teely have been doing well all season, more or less. 10 men, and to nick it deep in stoppage time. I mean, that's better than winning a match 4-0, isn't it? It really
Yeah, definitely. Like, and they're just no. I think, like I says, when you're in good form, right? They'd want to play tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to make like in this league to have a Friday and Monday game. When you're banging form, you're loving it. You can't wait for that. And it's like you go into autopilot. And I think that's exactly what Galway are like now. They're in autopilot. I don't think anything's gonna stop them now. Look, if they get into the playoffs, I would fancy them at the minute. If you're looking at all the other teams in the playoffs, I would probably fancy them against any of them sides.
I'd be worried if I had to come up against them, particularly with John Caulfield as well. Yeah. Speaking about autopilot, Bray are in that same situation now because they won 2-1 away to Cove tonight. Goals from Doyle and Aaron Barry. Obviously hot in the heels of that big win against Longford on Friday. They've opened up a small gap now at the top of the league. I know Drogheda have to play tomorrow night, and if Drogheda beat Shamrock Rovers B at United Park, they'll go 2 points behind. But if that was the case, then there'd be a 6 and a 4 point gap between Bray, Drogheda, and the rest. So if Drogheda do win tomorrow night, we're starting to get a bit of a pattern for the first time, maybe.
Yeah, look, that's
a huge win for Bray nonetheless. So 2 games, 6 points.
What a win! What 2 wins like that is just superb from Bray. Like I said, they've gone about their business quietly. I don't think anyone expected them to be top even a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
5 wins in a row, by the way, for them as well.
Yeah,
like, so they're really on fire. Yeah.
And they're going about their business their own way. They're doing something right. They're winning games, and look, credit to them. We could see Bray in the Premier Division next year if things keep going. Look, they've opened the gap. I think it's the first time this year. I would say from second in the Premier Division right down to the first division. I think it's so unpredictable, but this is the first time they have a little bit of a cushion. I just hope they don't. I just hope now they have that cushion, but they don't drop off because they deserve to be where they are. 5 wins in the first.
Drop off because I think they've played Drogheda next week, which if Drogheda were to win tomorrow night, it'd be a really juicy affair, wouldn't it? The following week.
Just it opens everything up again with a loss or a win, and I think.
And then a draw. Say that was a draw. Someone like Longford could sneak back in the picture again.
It's fantastic. Like it's great for the neutrals. Obviously not if you're a fan of the club, your hearts are in your mouth, and really so because getting up to the Premier Division is literally this. You have to in terms of financial package alone. Look, it's not a fantastic financial package. I think everyone knows that, but it's a lot more than the first division, and you get a lot more coverage.
It's also you're likely to keep certain players that maybe you might lose if you don't get promoted, maybe as well, and things like that.
Look, I think Bray have a lot of Premier Division players there.
That's what you do, yeah.
And if you be if they don't go up, you're kind of
people looking at them. There's no doubt.
We've seen teams with fantastic players. I think Longford are another side that could lose a lot of players this season. I think.
If they got promoted, just 1 or 2 would be there as well. So
it's tough for them because I think if any of them sides were in the Premier Division, I would think it'd make for a better division. I think they're really, really good. If Drogheda, Bray, Longford, Galway, if all them were in the Premier Division, it would make for a fantastic league. And only 2 of them, only 1 of them can go up. And the other one's in the playoff, and it's tough for them getting out of that division. Will they eventually change it to 2 going up and 1 the playoff? Who knows? But at the minute, I think it's a little bit frustrating for the first division teams.
Yeah, no, it is. Longford Town beat UCD 3-1, and it's been a poor last few days for UCD. The way they lost the game in Drogheda as well, or home to Drogheda rather, and beaten tonight. They went in front right before half-time through Weir, but second half goals from Manley, Verdon, Elworthy gave Longford the win, and it puts them back kind of in it, doesn't it? But UCD now suddenly are level with Galway.
Yeah, no, they're in it. No doubt about it. I don't think Longford were ever over, really. look,
They're 6 points off Bray, but as I said, Bray played Drogheda on Friday, so it's key that Longford win next Friday.
I think Longford, if they're going to win it, they need to win every game. Look, it doesn't take a genius to know that. But they have to win every game from now to the end of the year to give themselves a chance. Do I think Bray will lose 2 games? Probably not. Do I think? No, but not only that, do I think Bray can draw 3 games? Definitely. And you look at it that way, I don't think they're going to lose 3. Will they draw 3? Maybe so. That's where you pick up your points. But look,
they need to go on a winning streak, as you say. Longford need to do a Bray, like say, and go 4 or 5 matches in a row if they can do that. And easier said than done.
Yeah,
but, probably need to do that. From UCD's point of view, I have to say it's unlikely they're going to win the league. Let's be honest. They can get into the playoffs, but I think the league, they're 9 points behind Bray now, 6 games to go. And a few teams to pass out. It's looking unlikely they're going to actually finish top. Let's be honest about it. Like
Galway for the league.
Never know.
Stick your money on it.
Check up the price. You never know. They've as good a chance to win the league than UCD do anyway, because they're in level of points. But exactly, yeah. But the last game then, Wexford 0, Athlone 1. Amazing last few days for Athlone, to be fair. No wins. Yeah, no wins before Friday. 2 in the bounce. I didn't expect 1 goal to be in that match. I thought that'd be full of goals.
2 in the bounce, right?
Yeah.
They're in the cup.
Wexford are now bottom, by the way. They've really gone on a free fall. They really have.
Well, look, you have Athlone now. 2 wins on the bounce. They're getting a bit of confidence. They're in the cup as well.
Yeah.
You know, Athlone could find themselves in the semi-final of the cup, believe it or not. Like, it's, you know, it's really...
Well, they're playing Shelburne in the cup, but all the pressure will be on Shelburne.
That's what I'm saying, like, you know, and they're starting to pick up a few wins now. Look, I think if Shelburne could play Athlone now, I think it would be a very, very tough game after these 2 games. But I just think now, because it's after the season, that would probably give Shells a bit of an advantage. Because
depends where Shelburne are as well. Shelburne could be safe for a couple of games to go, but they could be right in the dogfight up to the last day as well, and their focus might be on that too. So it's difficult to know, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think, like I said, I think that's great though that they have the league after, or have the cup, after the league, because fully focused on the league. But look, I think Athlone will be focused on the cup now. They want it.
Oh, absolutely.
I think every player wants to cement their place in the cup team. It's only a couple of games left. They're picking up 2 wins on the bounce. That'll do them the world of good for their confidence. They know they can win a game now. Look, strangely enough, I know they're, let's say, semi-professional, but you'd like to think they could win a game. But at least they know that now. They've beaten teams. That instills a bit of confidence, believe it or not. You know, especially when you're like, picture them going to training every week. Like, some of them probably pay to play. And I'm not saying they're slagging them. I'm saying they're complimenting them. Like,
exactly, yeah.
I know lads that were getting 20 quid on top of their labour to play for Athlone. Like, and that's
because, as you say, they just want to play, don't they?
Yeah, and you know they deserve it. The players deserve this now, and I do hope they start winning a couple of games. Look, Lucas says I don't want anyone thinking I'm slagging them by doing that or saying that. I'm not slagging them in the slightest. I think I commend them, to be, if anything, to be honest. They're doing fantastic, like thinking of the commute. Look, a lot of players, let's say going back, were from Dublin, and there were a lot of young lads, and I think that was kind of a falling out there with, let's say, the people from Athlone and the team. But they look to be getting that back. They have a lot of homegrown talent in there now. And, you know, it's fantastic. And look, I'd be rooting for them in the cup, especially against Shells.
No, that we'll save that banter for the preview show. All right, lads. Thanks very much. Subscribe, comment, and we'll see you again. Thanks very much, Cian. Brilliant stuff. All right.